Welcome back, everyone. So, this week's review, we're going to the NES days with Ryha's Crusade. Enough talk, let's just dive right on in. You play as, I guess what's a bounty hunter or space marine named Ryha, and on her way to destroy the blockers stopping the evil that lurks within the planet Axis Prime. The presentation nails the NES, well, Super Nintendo art style pretty well. Everything looks distinct from one another, as it should be. The music is not too shabby, not something I'll hear or remember. Keep in mind, this is all one big tech demo, or just a demo, or at least it's still in development. Now, the gameplay. Let's just say this. The controls in this game are mostly responsive. Mostly. The reason why I mentioned the controls is because when I was looking at the F95 Zone forum for additional ideas for the script, the controls were a lot of people's main gripe with it. For me at least, the controls were mostly responsive. Now, in terms of everything else, by the footage you're seeing, the gameplay is a lot like Contra, with some spices of Metroid. Now, I mentioned Contra and Metroid because, well, the developers probably took all the frustrating parts of it, went to Mount Kidd, made a blood oath ritual with the Shady team, and to make this into a frustrating mess. The reason why I mentioned Shadies is simple. Some aspects of their game are meant to test my patience, and by the aspects, I mean the level design and enemy placement. Jesus Christ. Especially the nade chucking enemies. Like, Jesus Christ, how the fuck do you do that? Like, legit, just, all I just had to do was just lighten the load. Like, the game itself was already challenging enough as it is. Now, you yourself also have nades, but they are fucking precious. You can only throw them at certain times. Well, for me at least, I threw them at certain times, specifically with the shielded enemies, because once again, they have guns. It's like, sweet Jesus Christ, these guys chuck them like dollars at a sleazy strip joint. Now, you also do have sub-weapons. As far as I only got 3. The sprayer, the flamethrower, 10 out of 10, do not nerf, and the rocket launcher. But good luck getting the rocket launcher that far, because you have a better chance of beating Blooded Extra Crispy solo with just your pitchfork. So for quick reference, I decided to play another Contra like Iron Disco. Now the game is not good in the slightest, but out of all the Contra games I've played so far, this one captures the spirit the most, which is extremely ironic. Now, and I think that's all I want from this game. Add a little bit more of that Contra sauce, you dig? Like, let me be able to shoot through walls, or better yet, just once again, lighten the damn enemy load. And can you please be slightly more forgiving towards checkpoints? I honestly thought that monitor thing there was also a checkpoint at one time, but turns out I was wrong. I cannot really recommend this game. The game's flaws are that fucking annoying where it's like, it's just not even worth it. And I think one post from the F95 Zone forums perfectly summed up my feelings towards it. Jenny, would you put in that quote?
Art's great, plays fine, the music is good too. I don't get input lag like some people do, but it's got shit arcade design and it should allow you to remap controls. Every game in this day and age should, to be honest. That said, the grenade enemy mountain, followed by a tank protected by smaller enemies peppering you with projectiles constantly. The platforming you have to do later on through grenades. Whatever porn content this has isn't worth coin-munching bad design, on the first level, for a demo. If they decide to fix that, it'll be pretty cool. I like the aesthetic a lot, but they lost the script on level design and they don't know what difficulty is. It's meant to be challenging, not abjectly unfair. The limited movement and attack options don't balance out the amount of projectiles on screen and how your only options get destroyed by the far more numerous enemy projectiles. The fact that if you die you have to restart makes it even worse. In Contra you could tank a death and move out of an unfair scenario, but in this you get plopped back at the beginning. That's bad, and there's no checkpoints. I used to speedrun Contra. That game series was hard as balls, but when you died you got right back up and kept going. And even the infamous waterfall level wasn't this purposely cheaply unfair, going back to the start of the level after taking a death to something so cheap. I don't know why indie devs are like this sometimes.
Hello, finalizing Overlord here. So, I was finishing editing this and putting in Jenny's part of the video. The creator kind of updated the game, addressing most of my frustrations with it. So yeah, this video is kind of completely moot. Okay, so until then everyone, good night and good luck. So this week's Patreon shout out goes to, or subscribe stars in this case, goes to the Pug Dungeon. He's making a game called Fur Quest, so if RPG Maker games are your specialty and furries, then I recommend it. So until then everyone, like I said, good night and good luck.